Have you ever observed that the second you finally retreat, the instant you cease the pursuit, the moment you become silent, a peculiar shift occurs? Suddenly, she behaves with detachment, appearing frostier, as though you committed some error. Yet, in your core, you sense it. A transition is happening, and you are uncertain if she is drifting away or merely evaluating her own significance in your life. Pay close attention, for this is the concept many men fail to grasp until the chance has slipped away. When a woman has deep feelings for you, her reaction isn't always to move closer. Frequently, she creates space. If you fail to comprehend that psychological dynamic, you will shatter the very bond she was attempting to safeguard. A vast number of men assume that love is defined by regularity, nonstop affection, and a predictable emotional climate. However, female affection does not travel in a linear path. It moves in cycles, much like waves, and those tides grow more intense the more genuine her feelings become. When a woman starts to develop a real connection with you, it triggers a region of her mind designed to defend her heart, her dignity, and her emotional security. The very second she understands your importance, she develops a fear of losing her emotional autonomy around you. Consequently, instead of approaching, she sometimes withdraws, not because of a lack of love, but because of its presence. You see, men often mistake distance for rejection. Women, however, utilize distance to gauge stability. When she goes silent, she is tracking your reaction. She is analyzing the tension within that quietness. She desires to see if your dedication collapses the moment she stops nourishing it. She is evaluating your emotional core. She wants to discover if you succumb to panic, if you spiral out of control, if you begin to doubt your own worth, or if you hold your position like a man whose value is not dictated by her validation. A woman can truly love only a man she feels she can safely rely on, and she can only rely on a man who does not break when things get quiet. The reality is that women use silence for two primary reasons. The first is anxiety, fear of being too invested, fear of losing her identity in yours, or the dread of being wounded once more. The second is an innate drive, the urge to test the durability of what you contribute to her world. When a woman is invested in you, she becomes intensely observant of every action you take. She recalls your inflection, your reactions, and your pauses. She notices whether your masculinity remains steady or becomes reactive. She wants to know if your presence is sturdy enough to weather her emotional storms. That is precisely why, as her feelings intensify, she suddenly becomes less predictable. Her heart is awakening faster than her logic can soothe it. This is where most men stumble. They view her distance as a personal insult. They chase with more desperation. They send lengthy texts. They insist on immediate clarity. They offer emotional reassurances that were never requested. They believe they are mending the bond, but in reality, they are validating every fear she had about being with them. Because a man who loses his composure at a bit of distance is a man who cannot be trusted with true intimacy. A man who turns needy when she takes a step back is a man who was never standing firmly on his own 2 feet, and deep down, she can sense that fragility. When a woman is truly committed to you, she does not want you to pursue her when she pulls back. She wants you to remain centered, certain, and in control of yourself. She wants to see that her quietness does not compromise your identity, that her cold phases do not freeze your inner strength, and that you do not rely on her emotional performance to feel like a man. When she ignores you, she doesn't require comfort. She requires stability. Not phrases, but energy. Not oaths, but presence. Not a hunt, but patience. What truly ruins everything? It is when a man interprets her brief retreat as a total abandonment, when he assumes the love is fading, even though it is actually maturing, when he thinks she is losing interest, while she is actually overwhelmed by the depth of her emotions. A woman does not ignore a man she is finished with. She informs him plainly. She severs the tie cleanly. She becomes quiet, not just distant. But when she goes silent while still monitoring your conduct, that is when you know a more significant process is unfolding. Her heart is attempting to decipher yours. So I ask you right now, when she creates distance, Do you remain centered or do you give chase? Do you stand your ground or do you fold? Share your thoughts in the comments. And if this message resonates with you, like, subscribe, and send this video to a man who needs this perspective. There is a subtle, nearly hidden reality about women that most men overlook. The more a woman invests in you, the more she will evaluate you. And this evaluation is often masked as indifference. It isn't malice or manipulation, it is a gauge of your fortitude. Every look she avoids, every late response, every moment she seems mentally elsewhere is her way of posing a silent inquiry. Are you robust enough to manage me? Can you endure my absence and still prosper? If you misinterpret this as a snub, you provide her with the wrong answer. She will fear that you are reliant, insecure, and easily rattled. Reflect on this. From the very start, when a spark appears, a woman's mind is constantly performing assessments. She is judging not only who you are, but what you represent to her. When feelings become powerful, her natural drive is to safeguard herself. She does not wish to lose you, but she also refuses to lose her own self. Thus, she retreats, she evaluates, she stays quiet, and the truth is, she is tracking everything. Not your words, but your energy. How do you respond to her silence? How do you behave when she seems out of reach? This is the arena where authentic love is validated. A man who understands this becomes immovable. He doesn't pursue, he doesn't beg, he doesn't overthink, he watches. He maintains his position. He keeps his own life vibrant and his mind peaceful. His self-assurance never wavers because he recognizes the distinction between a woman stepping back and a woman leaving. He knows that if her love is genuine, her brief absence is not a threat. It is an invitation. It is an opportunity for him to demonstrate his emotional gravity, to prove that his worth is not anchored in her attention, but in the power he already holds within. Here is the difficult reality many men never embrace. Love isn't about nonstop validation or warmth. It is about alignment and equilibrium. It is about the silent realization that true attraction does not require constant confirmation. When a woman ignores you, she isn't penalizing you. She is simply allowing herself to see if your energy is a match for hers. The men who fail this evaluation crumble. They text incessantly, they worry, and they overexplain. They unintentionally prove that their identity is brittle and that their worth is dependent on a woman's approval. That is the exact opposite of what she desires. What a woman truly seeks is security, emotional safety, and mental consistency. A man who doesn't panic during silence is a man she can fall for deeply. A man who doesn't fall apart when his texts go unanswered is a man she can trust with her soul. Every instance of apparent lack of interest is actually a mirror reflecting your own power back at you. If you flinch, you reveal weakness. If you chase, you show insecurity. But if you stay composed and fully engaged in your own existence, you broadcast an unstated truth that you are not here to be governed or constantly validated. You are a man of inherent value. This is why mastering female psychology is vital. Men are often conditioned to meet distance with desperation. However, the strongest men do the opposite. They stay anchored. They respect her need for space. They trust the process. They know that if the love is real, her focus will return, not because they hunted it down, but because she feels secure enough to return. As this dynamic unfolds, she starts to notice. Her desire intensifies. She feels that magnetic pull when she realizes the man she loves is unshakable and independent. Ask yourself today, when she goes quiet, do you break or do you rise? Do you let her silence govern your emotions? Or do you maintain your power with confidence, knowing that love doesn't vanish in the absence of noise? It flourishes in the gap, where strength meets vulnerability. Contemplate that deeply and post your answer below. If this insight was helpful, like, subscribe, and share this with someone who needs to see the truth about love and desire. There is a secret women rarely voice, but every man can see if he is observant. When she loves you, she evaluates your absence and your boundaries. She doesn't want to trap or punish you. She wants to see if you can exist fully in your own power while still making room for her. This is the contradiction that baffles most men. Love is measured by how you manage distance, not just constant presence. Her silence is not the problem. It is the signal, a message your ego might not be prepared to hear. Most men view attention as love and absence as rejection. That is a mistake. A woman's mind doesn't function in absolutes or linear paths. She tests your love by pulling away and creating a void, forcing you to either collapse into insecurity or rise into self-assurance. That tension you feel is a mirror reflecting your true emotional state. She notices how your energy shifts. Every reaction is data confirming your stability or your fragility. She isn't ignoring you because she lacks care. She does it because she cares immensely. She is asking herself if she can trust you with her heart when things aren't predictable. The men who panic and beg for clarity fail, but those who stay grounded and self-assured become magnetic. Attraction isn't built through chasing or overexposure. Desire requires mystery and challenge. When she loves you, her silence is a way to see if your foundation is sturdy enough for intimacy without needing constant reassurance. She is checking if your value exists independently of her. This evaluation isn't permanent. It lasts until she is certain of your strength. Most men fail because they see distance as a threat. She wants a man who responds with calm, who doesn't beg or over-explain. She wants someone who knows that desire deepens in space. When she ignores you, she is revealing her internal depth and watching to see if you can match it. Imagine a woman who adores you but is cautious. She retreats to measure your self-control. Instead of panicking, you continue to pursue your goals and live your life. You don't beg for her validation. Suddenly, the tension flips. The pull becomes stronger, and her love deepens because she sees a man whose value is inherent. The question remains, do you fold or do you rise? If you can stay grounded, her love grows exponentially. Silence becomes your partner, and the connection becomes undeniable. Think about that. If this resonates, show your support by liking and subscribing. A woman's love is often expressed in these subtle signals and the tension of absence. If you misread it, you break the connection she is trying to protect. Women have a radar for stability. They can tell if a man's identity is tied to her responses. When she pulls away, she is observing whether your identity can withstand uncertainty. The stronger your presence, the more attractive you are. Chasing only confirms her fears. She doesn't just want affection, she wants safety. Paradoxically, her distance can increase her desire. Men who stay centered and continue to achieve during these times are the ones who capture her heart. She is testing your emotional sovereignty. Can you be trusted with her feelings? Can you stay solid when she is unpredictable? The answers are found in your energy and strength, not your words. She isn't playing games. She is testing the foundation of your masculinity. She wants a man who can handle real, messy love without fear. The men who succeed are those who can exist in the silence without collapsing. They become unforgettable. Her silence is your proving ground. Do you cling or do you expand? The man who answers with quiet confidence will never truly be ignored because women naturally gravitate toward those who can exist fully and independently. Reflect on your first instinct when she pulls away. Do you panic? Type your response below. This is the moment where many fail to see the revelation hidden in her silence. Every step she takes back is a measurement of your self-possession. Her love is proven in the space between, not in constant contact. If you respond with fear, you confirm her worries. But if you stay steady, you become magnetic beyond words. When you get this right, she begins to move toward you, drawn by the gravity of a man who is emotionally sovereign. She senses an energy that is untouchable and consistent. The more she tries to pull away, the more she feels drawn back. She wants to know if you can hold yourself steady in the storm of her feelings. Every flare of panic from you tells her that your love is dependent and weak. But when you step into your power, you don't need to beg for attention. You allow love to exist without neediness. The man who thrives while her emotions fluctuate is the man she feels safest with. This is your challenge. The next time she creates distance, resist the urge to chase. Keep your life and confidence steady. Let her see that your worth is inherent. In that space, the pull becomes undeniable and the love becomes stronger than ever. Answer this honestly. If she went quiet for 3 days and you remained perfectly calm and independent, what do you think she would feel and why? Leave your answer in the comments. like subscribe, and share this with someone who needs to understand the strength of a man who knows his own value.